How can you solve fraction word problems using equations? Today, let's continue to practice solving word problems when we need to multiply fractions. We'll look at 2 more problems today using the same strategies. So first, a good way to figure out how to work through a problem is to follow a couple steps. Number 1 is that after you read the word problem, try to represent the problem as a multiplication equation. Afterwards, solve and compute the answer, and write the answer in a complete sentence. And of course, when we solve and compute, we're going to want to find out if it's in simplest form, and if we have to change from an improper fraction into a mixed number. And then, of course, again, write the answer in a complete sentence using the context of the word problem. So using these steps and keeping these steps in mind, we have 2 problems to work through today. The first one says that Jim owns a ½ acre of land. He wants to use 2/3 of that land for a garden. How much of an acre will be used as a garden? The second problem says William gathered 12.5 baskets of apples. He wants to sell 2/3 of what he gathered. How many baskets will he sell? For these problems, why don't you now in your notes, following the steps on the previous slide, solve these 2 problems, and then resume the video when you're ready to check your answer. Remember again that we are trying to represent these problems as a multiplication equation, so write that out and write your answer in a complete sentence and in simplest form. All right, let's solve this. So the first problem is about Jim and his acre of land. So as I go through, what I like to do is kind of underline the important information, which would be the number and anything that comes after that. So you see that he has a ½ acre of land. He wants to use 2/3 of that land for a garden. We want to figure out how much of an acre will be used as a garden. So we're trying to find 1/2 of 2/3. The first step number 1, is to represent this as a multiplication equation. So that would be 1/2 times 2/3. Using our algorithm, we see that 1 is A, 2 is B. So if we were to represent this as a multiplication equation, that would be 1/2 for the ½ acre times 2/3. We're finding 1/2, or 2/3 of 1/2, so that's a multiplication equation. Based off what we know about multiplying fractions by fractions, we can say A is 1, 2 is B, the 2 in the second fraction is C, and 3 is D. So if you do AC over BD, that's going to equal 1 times 2 over 2 times 3, which is 2/6. Now we have to write this in simplest form. 2's factors are 1 and 2. 6's factors are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So 6 is our greatest common factor, or 2 is our greatest common factor. So we'll divide top and bottom by 2, which gives us 1/3. So Jim, in our answer, using our answer in a complete sentence, Jim will use 1/3 of an acre for a garden. Now we have the second problem. William gathered 12.5 baskets of apples. He wants to sell 2/3 of what he gathered. How many baskets will he sell? Going through the problem, underlying important information, I see that he has 12.5 baskets of apples. He wants to sell 2/3 of what he had. So that would be, if he has 12.5 baskets, he wants to take 2/3 of that. So really, he's finding 2/3 of 12.5. to represent this as a multiplication equation. That would go 12.5 times 2/3. Now this is a mixed number. Easiest way for us to do this problem is to change all the fractions, all the products, all the factors in our equation into a fraction. So since this is a mixed number, we're going to have to change this into an improper fraction. So if we have 12.5, we're going to want to multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the numerator. So that would be 12 times 2 plus 1. Well, 12 times 2 is 25, plus 1 gives us 26, and then we want to rewrite that with the original denominator, so that becomes 26 halves. So our new equation is 26 over 2 times 2/3, and then we just have to multiply across. So 26 times 2, some quick math here, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 26 times 2 is 56, and 6 times 3 is going to be 6. So our answer is 56 sixth baskets. And we want to simplify this, so we'll go, since it is an improper fraction, we'll go 56 divided by 6. Well, 6 goes into 56 9 times. 6 times 9 is 54. And we're left with 2. So that becomes 9 and 2/6. Based on that last problem that we did earlier, we know that the greatest common factor between these two is 2. So it's 9 and 1/3. So to write our answer as a complete sentence, William will sell 9 and 1/3 baskets. So today you've solved 2 more fraction word problems using equations. You know that we're going through their steps. Step 1 is going to be to represent the problem as a multiplication equation. Step 2 is to solve and compute and simplify if necessary. And step 3 is to write the answer in a complete sentence.